Hey everyone! In this video I'm going to explain how a sump or a wet-dry filter works. So this is my 75-gallon tank and I have 2 large goldfish in it and it has a sump. So the first step is the water gets drawn into the sump and this is done with an overflow box. You can see mine back here. And the slats on the top there are where the water goes through. And it's black and my aquarium back is painted black, so it blends in really nicely. That's one thing I really like about the sump filtration, is that it's really easy to disguise. So here you can see a top view of the overflow box. As the water overflows over these slats, it enters the box, and inside the box there's a grate, looks like this, and a hole in the glass. So the grate goes into the hole, so it filters out any larger particles that might go into the filter. And then in the back here you can see the tube that's coming out from the hole in the tank, and there's a large diameter pipe going down to the sump, which I will show you now. So the sump is underneath the tank inside of the stand, and this stand I modified to give it nice large doors so I can really access everything underneath the tank more easily. It has a PVC elbow and then it has a bulkhead attached to the cover here. And that is just dumping water into there. And there's a drip tray, which is just an acrylic tray, really shallow, that has holes drilled into the bottom every ½ inch or so. So that distributes the water evenly over all the biological media that's down here. This whole part of it is just filled with biological media, like you can see those blue bio balls, and then I have some black plastic cylinders and then some ceramic cylinders. And then the bottom is just a little egg crate platform that I made, and it sits above the bottom of the tank a little bit just to keep them from spilling over into the next chamber. And in here I just have a sponge to filter out more particles. It actually, I don't know if you can tell this, but so the water comes down here and then it goes underneath this acrylic wall because there's a gap at the bottom, and it goes into this section. And then that's divided with some egg crate, and in here I have the pump. I believe this pump is 700 gallons per hour, something like that. And then I also put an air stone in here because I found that the water on top tended to get kind of gross, like it would get a gross film on it after a while, so the air stone really helps prevent that. Plus it helps put more oxygen into the water, so it's never a bad thing. And then I have a ball valve attached directly onto the pump, and that's just to prevent water from siphoning into this sump and overflowing in the event of a power outage. So that's really a necessary component. And then you can see this clear tubing is coming out of the pump, and it splits into 2 right there. And that's because one of the tubes leads to my UV sterilizer. You can see the light from it right there. And so it goes through the UV sterilizer and then dumps back into the tank, and the other one bypasses the UV and just goes straight into the tank. And that is done because you want a certain flow rate through the UV sterilizer, otherwise you won't get efficient sterilization. So that's why that is done. And so the last step is it just gets pumped back into the tank. You can see right there one of my outflows, and it's angled towards the bottom here, so it kind of distributes the water evenly around the tank. If you have these outflows pointed up towards the surface, then it won't cycle through the entire tank very well. It'll just come out here and then go straight into the overflow box. So you really want to angle those down as much as you can. And let's see, the other one is up here somewhere, hiding. Yeah, it's not really very visible, but it's just right up against the overflow box right there. So everything is black inside of here, and the background is black too. So it all blends in really nicely, which I really like. And you really can't even tell that there's any filtration on here. So I like that because I like a nice clean looking tank with not too many visual distractions, because I like my beautiful fish to stand out. So that is a very basic rundown of how a wet-dry filter works.